Hey guys, Metal Jesus here, and I'm flying down the freeway with my good bud Drunken Master Paul. We are on our way to check out a brand new expo in the Seattle area. It is called the Washington State Gaming Expo. We were invited down by Emilio. Now you might remember him if you've been watching my channel for a while. He's the guy that found that extremely rare orange Halo Xbox years ago. This is their first year and they're holding it in Puyallup, Washington, which is about 40 miles south of Seattle, which is great because that means myself and all my friends can pretty much go and help support them. So we're going down for the weekend and I'm going to show you a bunch of the highlights, and at the end of this video I'm going to share with you everything I picked up. And I have to tell you, I found something that for me is a holy grail. I was so excited. And dude, when you show up here, it's shocking just how big the venue is. It's like an entire city block. It actually might be more than one city block. It's huge. What do you think so far, Paul?
This is awesome. I've never been to the Puyallup Fairground. Dude, Puyallup. Lived here my entire life.
And so this is pretty ambitious for a first year expo. They're going big, man. This is kind of crazy. Go walking in here and just seeing, wow, okay, this is gonna be like a top tier expo. I was very impressed. Because this expo is so close to Seattle, it kind of turned into a bit of a MetalJesusRocks crew reunion. Walking around the floor, I found the Pink Gorilla booth, and of course, there was Kelsey and Johnny working that, selling some games.
Hi.
It was awesome to see her, as well as John Riggs and also the immortal John Hancock. They are there selling all their homebrew games, so that was very cool to see those guys. Reggie spent most of the weekend on the free-to-play pinball machines, and so he was working that line right there. Pretty much just spending hours doing that, which is cool. And then Drunken Master Paul isn't really a game collector. Instead, he kind of looks for things that are cool that might fit into his bar that he has in his house. The first thing he spotted was this 3D printed Deadpool meets Pikachu helmet that somebody had 3D printed. They were selling this for 150 bucks. I think ultimately he didn't pick it up because he's probably not going to wear it. He just likes it, right? However, a bit later, he did find some artwork to hang up in his bar.
This one.
Nice.
Tatooine travel poster. And then...
yeah. Very cute. Good stuff. Now, I mentioned that he's not really a game collector, but one thing he is trying to find is he's trying to find all of the Kinect games or the Kinect enhanced games that came out for the Xbox 360 and even the Xbox One era. Being a martial arts instructor, he's very much about, you know, physical movement and stuff. So I think he's going to do a video on him eventually.
All right, dude. So we'll do a bundle deal on games.
Yeah, this is about $24. So what I'll do is I'll just give you this one for free. So
awesome, nice.
Yay! Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Now you're probably wondering about prices, and well, this is a gaming expo, so the sellers know how much all this stuff is worth, and frankly, so do the buyers. What I recommend you do is come to an expo like this and have a list of games that you've been looking for a while, and you're willing to drop the cash on it because you can hold it in your hand, you can inspect it, and you can walk away hopefully happy. But you can also use it as an opportunity to find things that you might not find elsewhere, like at thrift stores and garage sales. Somebody mentioned that there was a sealed copy of Space Quest 5 for $300. I was like, what? That's crazy. It's amazing that it's not even opened. I wonder if it's like new old stock, maybe a store went out of business or something. This booth here pointed out that they had a Taco Bell Xbox One new in the box, and they had a price for $1,000 on it. Speaking of things that are expensive, this is a 007 GoldenEye Nintendo 64. It's the PAL version for $3 grand. Whew, way too rich for my blood. Here's another pricey one. This is Zen the Intergalactic Ninja. This is based on a comic book, and prices on eBay for a complete in-box are all over the place. One of them recently sold for $900, another one for $500, so I guess $700's kind of in the middle. But man, there's no denying that cover artwork is epic. I found Reggie.
Hey, how's it going?
In his natural habitat.
Yeah.
Looking for games.
Looking for gems here. See what I can find. I got one already. Let me show it to you guys. Yeah. Ghostplay HD.
dude, that's a really fun game.
Yeah, it is, definitely. It's been out for a good while, but I'm happy I got a Switch port finally, so happy to have this in the collection.
Cool.
Yeah.
There is a lot of arts and crafts at this expo. I noticed that they're spacing them out from each other, so you kind of have to walk past one type of vendor to get to the other, which honestly made exploring this expo pretty fun. That does mean that there weren't as many video game vendors at this expo as, say, you would get at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. However, the vendors that they did have here did have some really good stuff, and there was a ton of variety, both old and new video games.
So remember when we were in down in Bend, and I went to the arcade and I played Stunt Cycle, which was a cheesy motorcycle game where it went across the screen that had the stickers for the pipes?
Yeah.
Did you know they made a bespoke Stunt Cycle by Atari? Because I did not. That's amazing. And this is why I can't have nice things, because I don't have enough room for them, and I like staying married.
It's funny, Paul was pretty obsessed with these two fan-made R2-D2 units that were running around the floor. Now, these were both on sale, I guess, at the right price if you happen to, want to spend several hundred, if not $1,000. But it's funny because Paul would talk about how he'd want to buy one of these, but I think he really would just prefer to figure out how to build his own. But he definitely found it very inspirational, like he needs another hobby. Another thing I noticed about this expo is that there was a lot of Halo stuff here. Probably because Microsoft and Xbox is local to our area, and so is Bungie and 343 Industries, so you had the developers obviously from here. And so you had a lot of vendors that had Halo helmets, armor, collectibles, action figures, and a bunch of people just running around in Halo cosplay. It was pretty cool. Some random stuff here, including these Channel F cartridges. They just look like old 8-track cassettes, don't they? So wild. One of the things that this expo advertises is that they have a Rock Band stage setup that was pretty much in use the entire time, from the time that the doors opened until midnight every day. So that was pretty cool to see. A lot of people happy to play some Rock Band on stage. Part of me thinks it's time for maybe Rock Band to come back, right? Maybe a new version for modern consoles. What do you think? All told, this was a pretty impressive expo, especially for its first year. You can tell they went all out here. Now, the challenge was it happened to coincide on the same weekend where there was two other popular expos, and also it was Easter, so probably not the best weekend to launch a new expo. But as you can see from this footage, it was still popular, and there was a bunch of people here. It's amazing to me that in the Seattle area, where we have so many other expos, that there is room for yet one more. It's pretty crazy, right? And we definitely had a great time all weekend, game hunting, playing stuff. We had a panel discussion, hanging out with friends, and yeah, it was just an awesome time. But now it's time to drive back home and show you what I picked up. I'm starting to casually collect UMD movies. These are the movies that you can play on the PSP, especially when they're cheap. And so you see two of them I found here, including Go. I love that movie so much. Nobody talks about it really, but it has an amazing soundtrack, great story and characters. I'm such a fan. And then of course, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. I primarily picked this up because, well, I'm playing the remake on the PS5, and so I was kind of in the mood for that. I found a copy of UFC Tap Out 2 for the original Xbox. Now, this is an Xbox exclusive that's supposed to be pretty solid, actually, and at the time, a lot of people were very impressed with its visuals. I'm kind of just now getting into MMA, so let me know what other games you think I should check out. Here is Redout Space Assault on the PlayStation 4. So this is a rail shooter game that when it came out, it was like a $10 budget title. Now, I don't know anything about this particular game when it came out, other than I love the racing game Redout. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll take a chance on this one. I assume it's some sort of sequel or spin-off or something like that. And I had no idea that there was a physical version. Another game I had not heard of before going to this expo, that is Lair of the Clockwork God. And when I looked up reviews on my phone, I saw it was getting like 8s, 9s, and 10s from pretty much everybody. It's being described as a mix of a traditional point-and-click adventure game that also adds in a bit of platforming. Plus, I guess the story is really good, it's smart and funny, so Again, another one I was surprised to see a physical version of, and it wasn't very expensive, and so I thought I'd take a chance. I mean, this could be one of those future kind of hidden gems, right? Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance Tactics. So I'd completely forgotten that they had made a TV reboot a couple years ago about the classic Jim Henson movie. And then here is a turn-based tactics game based on that, and found the physical version at this expo, so I figured I'd give it a chance. I don't play turn-based tactics games all the time, but when I do, I'm usually all in for weeks. I just get sucked into these. They're a ton of fun. That's probably why I don't play them very often, because they tend to take over my life. But yeah, I was very curious to check this one out. So if you have played it, let me know down in the comments below. They had an entire building dedicated to board and card games, and so I found this there. This is the Oregon Trail Hunt for Food. This is going to be fun for family get-togethers like on Thanksgiving or Christmas when you have people over, and instead of just playing video games, we might gather around a table and maybe check this game out. It looks pretty fun, looks pretty silly. I was drawn to these arcade marquees. They just had a ton of them to select, and they were running a deal, buy two, get one free, so I couldn't resist, man. Now, my choices are kind of weird because I chose Journey. That's not a really great arcade game, but I love the band so much, I had to pick that one up. I'm also a massive fan of Moon Patrol, and of course, Star Wars. Had to pick that one up too. Now, I'm going to use these for art, so you're going to see these in the background of my game room videos. So yeah, very happy to pick those up. I found this Batman plug and play. Now, it was only $3, and I made a huge mistake in not opening it up because when I got it home, the batteries were completely corroded. They've been in there for probably a decade or so. And so it doesn't turn on. I'm gonna have to fix it, I'm gonna have to clean it, but still, I love the shape of these plug and plays. It's been forever since I bought a new one. Paul gave me this. It is a fork in the tail for the PC. This is a full motion video game that came out, I believe, in like 1997, and it stars Rob Schneider. I guess the gameplay is very similar to Dragon's Lair, but I anticipate this to be probably terrible, but I thought this was pretty funny. This will be a game that we pop in and crack some beers and just laugh. But my big find at the expo was at this booth called Magic Trash Can Games. And in the back, behind where they're standing, they had this Gene Simmons bass axe that is for Rock Band on the Wii. Now, this hits me on so many levels. I am such a massive Kiss fan, and I've always loved them since I was a kid, and I had no idea that there was a Wii version of it. So when I saw this, I was like, oh man, this must be mine. And that's what I love about going to these expos, because you run into vendors that you've never seen before. Even though we're still in the Seattle area, I'd never heard of Magic Trash Can Games. And yet here they are, and they got something that I'm just loving to add to the collection. So that was very cool. I'm actually probably going to put this on the wall because it's such a piece of art, but it works. And if we get into the mood to play some Rock Band in the game room, I will bust it out. Oh yes. And so that, guys, is a quick look at our weekend at the Washington State Gaming Expo in Puyallup. Yes, very good first year for an expo. I was pleasantly surprised. It was 3 days of just fun and competition and game hunting and hanging out with friends. It was awesome. Hopefully they'll do another one next year, and if that's the case, then I'm sure we will all go as well. But anyways, guys, I'd love to know what you think down in the comments below, and as always, I want to thank you for watching my channel, thank you for subscribing, and take care.